Hello and welcome to the Student Voice. We're pleased to be joined here by the Mayor of Wayne, Christopher Vergano. Mayor Vergano, it's a pleasure to have you here, so let's get the show started. Our first question is, what are your responsibilities as mayor regarding the Wayne school system?
Well, we interact with the superintendent, actually have a newer superintendent. We've done some programs together. We like to do shared services together in order to save money for the taxpayers, because the taxpayers pay the salaries in the Board of Ed budget and also the salaries in the township budget. So there's a lot of different things we can do together, and we're trying to do more.
Okay. Our second question is, how are you adapting to the new superintendent?
Well, he's kind of new to the situation, and we've spoken many times so far over things that are going on in the building, especially concerning the police department. So I think we get along very well. The lines of communication are certainly open. He has my secret cell phone number. I have his secret cell phone number. So I think it's a good working relationship.
That's very good to hear. Our third question is, what made you want to become the mayor? It's certainly not an easy job. So what made you want to run?
Well, in our township, the mayor is a part-time position. So along with doing your regular full-time job, which I have, mayor takes up a lot of time. But I always thought of giving back to the community. So I started a long time ago on the Board of Education, and then just naturally moved over to the Township Council, and then 7 years ago became the mayor. It's been a long ride, but for the most part, it's very interesting, and I have a good time at it.
Oh, that's very good. So our next question is there much stress that goes along with the job? Running the town obviously can't be that easy. So what are some hardships that you have to face every day?
Well, I look at it as though I'm the CEO of an $85 million company, because that's the size of our budget. I mean, as early as this morning, we had a fatality, and my phone rang informing me of that. We have over 400 employees. We have 114 police officers. We run so many different programs. And the goal is to keep everything moving smoothly, and I think we've been able to do that.
Okay. And our last question is, what is the biggest responsibility of being the mayor?
Well, I think it comes down to running the township in an efficient manner. It gets more and more difficult as time goes on with the loss of ratables and the economy, and people do not like to pay taxes, certainly, and I understand that, I don't either. But we're trying to run the government as conservatively and as fiscally responsible as we can. So we've done a lot of things. The first thing we've done is, in my 7 years, we've reduced the township workforce by 10%, which has not been easy, and we've done that through attrition. We've combined positions, we've taken full-time positions and made them part-time positions. So we're looking to do things that way. We're looking to do more with less people and still provide the basic services that our community expects.
All right, well, thank you, Mayor. Don't go away. We'll be right back where Brittany Krugel will ask some personal questions about the mayor.
Hola! How many states are in Mexico? Is it A, 7, B, 24, C, 31, or D, 50? If you guess C, 31, you're correct.
Hey, Mayor Vergano. What's the biggest responsibility of being mayor?
Welcome back to the Student Voice. I'm Brittany Krugel. So, Mayor, what did you think about Ricardo Maldonado's question?
Well, the question's a good one. Probably the toughest thing that we have to make sure that happens is that we provide essential services. And in the wintertime, the biggest service that we provide is snow plowing. So we have to make sure that we have enough crews and we have enough snow plows onto the road, making sure that commerce can take place, that our residents can still get to work, that you can still get to school, all those important things. And that's one of the things that we have to monitor during the winter situation. So I think we're pretty good at it for the most part. We can always improve, but I think we've got a handle on it.
So where did you grow up? Are you originally from Wayne?
Well, my parents actually moved to Wayne in 1962, and they're still here. And I grew up in the township, and except for 2 winters in Chicago, have lived in Wayne. Married somebody from Wayne. My wife Denise and I are married 24 years. We have 2 children who attended Wayne Valley. My son Kyle graduated from the University of Delaware, and my daughter Allie is a freshman at the College of New Jersey. So we're Wayne bound.
So were you always interested in politics? Like, did you do student council in high school or anything like that?
As a matter of fact, I attended Wayne Hills and was the student council president a long time ago, and decided that I wanted to get into public service, and I joined the First Aid Squad when I was 16. So and spent 15 years with them, and decided to do something for the community and ran for the Board of Ed, and that was a long time ago, and here we are about to start my 8th year as mayor.
So do you hold any other positions besides mayor?
No, aside from being mayor, I serve on the planning board, which is a statutory position, and that's really about it.
So what's the process of running for mayor? Like, what do you have to do?
Well, the term of mayor is for 4 years, and before the June primary, you have to get, I believe it's 125 signatures to get your name on the ballot. Of course, you have to go through the whole party situation too. When I say party, I mean political party situation, and get endorsed. And then you run in a primary, and whoever is successful in the primary then runs in the general election in November. So this is, January 1st will be my 8th year. I was appointed to a 1-year term, and then I ran for a 1-year term, was left on the office, then 2 4-year terms. I think I have that.
That's great to hear. We'll be back with Sam Applebaum continuing the discussion of the mayor's position.
Hey, all you football fans, here's a trivia question for you. How many Super Bowls has Brett Favre won? Is it A, 4, B, 2, C, 5, or D, 1? If you guess D, 1, you'd be right.
Hi, Mayor Vergano. What's your favorite part about being mayor?
Hi, my name is Sam Applebaum. Welcome back to the Student Voice. Mayor Vergano, you just heard from Wayne Hills Jr. Erica Chalmers. Tell me what you think about her question.
Well, she asked me what was the favorite part of being mayor, and there's really a couple things. One of the things that I get to do as mayor is perform wedding ceremonies. And in the last 7 years, I'm probably about 250 ceremonies. My record is 5 in one night. And those are very interesting because you never know how old the couples are going to be and how many marriages they've had. The other thing I really enjoy doing is going to talk to elementary schools. For some reason, the kids in elementary think the mayor is a very high position, so it's always fun to see them. Those are probably the 2 most enjoyable parts of the job.
Right, so like you said, you go to elementary schools and you talk. How do you stay in touch with all the educational systems here at Wayne?
Well, I get a lot of emails during the day, and you have to remember, although I'm the part-time person, we have a full-time staff at Town Hall. So we get emails from students with complaints, we get emails from parents about the educational system, and we try to refer people over to the Board of Education because they're really the people that handle all those issues. I mean, we get issues as simple as a bus stop. They don't like the location of a bus stop, and they email us. So we try to assist people. We also work cooperatively with the Board of Ed to try to save money along the way. We buy their gasoline and they buy it back from us. We do paper together now. We've used their electricians. We use them for tree cutting. So we try to do services with the Board of Ed and work cooperatively with them.
Sure. It sounds like you stay very busy. Can you tell me what the average day in the life of the mayor is like?
Well, I'll start yesterday. I work for, I have a real job during the day, which 8:30 to 5. Last night I was at Town Hall with a meeting with 115 people whose homes we're going to buy out in the flood buyout. After that I had another meeting. I had to stop at a wake on the way there and then stop at a resident's house before I got to Town Hall. So I might have left the house at 8:30 in the morning and got home at 9:30 last night. On Tuesday nights I have office hours at Town Hall, typically between 5 and 7. So I'll be there tonight. I think we have 2 weddings tonight actually on the calendar. We meet during the day sometimes. I'll leave my office and meet with people lunchtime at Town Hall. It's a commitment, but I knew exactly what it was when I was getting into it, and I really enjoy what I'm doing.
Right. And like you told Brittany before, you were very active in politics as a teenager. But what do you think you'd be doing today if you never became mayor?
That's really an interesting question. I mean, I still have my regular career. I work for a Mitsubishi Plastics company. I would be in some type of service organization, and we have many in the township where people volunteer their time. So I would probably be doing that. I look at this more of a public service career than a political career. I don't like the political end of it. I'm not really comfortable with that. I'm more here to help people. And that's what I've tried to get our administration to be like at Town Hall.
And did you always know you wanted to run for mayor? Did someone kind of push you to do it, or?
It all started, when my son, who's now 23, was probably 2. We were at a house party in Packanack Lake, and people were trying to get somebody to run for the Board of Education. And reluctantly, I said yes, and that was 20 years ago. And it just ended up here. I never thought I'd be mayor. I never thought I'd still live in Wayne at this point in time. Because remember, I did graduate from this school, like I said, a few years ago.
So it's kind of a more impulse.
I guess it really was. I mean, there's a lot of people that are good people that are involved in public service. It's not the negative political things that you read about every day. We're certainly not Washington, D.C. here. we're a little, I mean, I always tell people we might have 54,000 people in 27 square miles. Wayne is really a small community made up of little communities, and I'm sure you see that here at Wayne Hills.
So you've been mayor for 8 years now.
Right.
What has been your most memorable experience?
Well, probably was meeting the President of the United States.
Wow.
About 2 years ago, right after Hurricane Sandy, we got a call from the White House. It was kind of interesting that the President wanted to come here. He was going to be in Patterson that day, and there was really no reason for him to come to Wayne except to see the devastation. So as it turned out, I was doing a wedding that day in another town for friends of ours, and the timing was not good, but believe it or not, the President was able to rearrange his schedule. It was kind of an interesting day. A police car picked me up, drove me into Mountain View, and the whole area had been shut down, because when the President comes, everything was shut down. And he was extremely personable, and when the three big black SUVs pulled up, I opened the door when he was coming out, and the first thing out of his mouth was, "So how was the wedding?" So he was really good with the kids. He was saying, you know, take pictures, they'll be great for show and tell. So although I will tell you up front, I didn't vote for the President of the United States, but he was very personable, and 2 months after he came to visit Wayne, he sent me 2 autographed pictures. They're hanging on the office, on the wall in my office. So I guess that was a highlight.
Yeah. So my next question is, as mayor, you make lots of decisions. So what do you do when you run into a situation where you know that there's something that the people want, but you believe that the other option is the correct option?
Well, I always found that it's best to listen to everybody and then try to make an informed decision afterwards. But sometimes you have to tell people no. Sometimes somebody has to be the decision maker. We have a representative government. People have elected me to make decisions. I'm certainly not afraid to make a decision. I try to do what's best for the entire public as opposed to a specific group maybe, or a specific individual. So sometimes somebody has to say no, and that's what happens with the job. It comes with the responsibilities of the job.
Right. Okay, well, thank you, Mayor. We'll be right back with our final section of this episode with Matthew Ferrara. He will discuss what the future holds for Mayor Vergano.
Hey, how you doing? Matt here today, asking you a question about Oreo cookies. How long does it take to make an Oreo cookie? A, 20 minutes, B, 60 minutes, or C, 12 minutes? If you guessed B, 60 minutes, you would be correct.
Hey, Mayor Vergano, what are your plans after mayor? Do you want to advance in politics?
Hi, how you doing? I'm Junior Matthew Ferrara. Welcome back to the Student Voice. We just heard from sophomore Amanda Lee, and she asked the mayor, what are your plans after mayor, and do you want to continue in politics?
Well, I have zero other political aspirations. I never imagined that I would be mayor of our town. I'm very proud to be mayor. I will keep running until the people don't want me anymore. Right now, January 1st will be my 8th year. I think we have a good administration that I count on every day, and I'm enjoying what I'm doing. So I'm going to continue. But aside from this office, I will not run for anything else. I can
You
tell
never had any aspirations for
none
running
whatsoever.
for big positions?
This was reluctant to begin with, and it was just a matter of timing. My predecessor became an assemblyman, so there was an opening for mayor, and they were trying to find somebody, and all of a sudden I said I would, and here I am.
I found it very interesting that you met President Obama. Did you ever, at any point, have any people saying you should run for president, or any backers who said you should move up, or you were just always against it?
Some people have asked me if I was interested in running for other positions in the state of New Jersey, and of course the answer then was no, and it still is no. I never wanted to be president of the United States. I can't imagine that type of responsibility. But it was very interesting to meet the president. It certainly was an honor for him to come to the town also.
Yeah, that's excellent. Now, I myself, I'm an actor, but I also want to pursue a career in politics myself. What would you give to advice like someone like me who wants to actually follow a career in politics?
Well, I would tell you to always be real. Many times you see career politicians that you know and I know they're not being real to the people. Sometimes you have to say no, and sometimes that's difficult. But I always tell people you speak from the heart. You try to help everybody as much as you can, but sometimes you can't. Sometimes the answer is no. But when you no longer can be true to yourself, then you need to get out.
Yeah, You usually see that on a nationwide level, like the coach politicians, but do you ever see that in Wayne, like animosity, like people trying to call people out in Wayne for town council and stuff like that?
I think that happens during what I call the silly season, which is election year.
Yeah.
So for me, it's every 4 years. In 2015, 6 seats on the township council are up. So we'll probably see some of that, the silly season once again. People get up to the podium and say all kinds of wild things that are not based on fact. But that's okay, that's part of the process. But you have to be able, at the end of the night, you have to be able to look somebody in the eye and tell them the truth. And that's the way I've always been. That's what I learned from my parents, and I think that's the good part of my generation, hopefully your generation too,
Definitely.
in political service.
Mm-hmm. Now, what has being mayor taught you in leadership? Has it definitely changed your perspective on being a leader?
Well, like I said before, the mayor is the CEO of this $85 million corporation, and you need to make decisions, and you can't be afraid to make decisions, and not all the decisions are correct. You have to reach a point where you say, maybe that wasn't the best way, and maybe we can rethink and try to be creative. And I don't have a bunch of yes people that walk around me, and I just do what I think is right for the general public, and so far it's worked.
That's awesome. Do you consult a lot of your cabinet, per se, on these things, or like, are you a big decision maker? Does it come down to you?
Well, I try to rely on our cabinet is basically our directors at town hall. We have a business administrator who runs the 24-hour operation. It's kind of funny because Monday through Friday from 7:15 in the morning till 8 o'clock in the morning, we're on the phone just going over what's going to happen in the week, what meetings we have, what issues we have to go over, and then everybody works for him under the Faulkner type F type of government. So all of our employees report somehow up to the business administrator, and then the business administrator reports to me. So from the lifeguard at the swimming pool to the chief of police, all work their way up and report to the BA. So I have to rely on him and our department heads to give me recommendations, and then I react from the recommendations. I don't always agree with them, and sometimes we'll go my way as opposed to their way, but I have a good core group of people I rely on.
That's excellent. That's excellent. And our final question is, what type of person you have to be mayor? When you were growing up, did you ever say, like, I'm this type of person, and that's led to you becoming the mayor?
Well, there's various different personalities that I remember growing up, different mayors. Some have been almost like dictators, and you really can't be that way. You need to be more of a man of the people, which I try to be. You know, it's funny, like I'll be with my wife in ShopRite, and people will be like, oh, there's the mayor. And my wife's like, yeah, we have to eat. And you know, it's like, yeah, we food shop and we take out the garbage at night and we do everything else. But by doing that and by eating in restaurants and talking to people, that's what people want as the mayor. They want, so when they pick up the phone and there's a problem, there's somebody that's going to help them. I mean, a lot of times there's simple problems, and we have 17,000 different homes in the township. So you know what? We might forget to pick up your recyclables today, but that's really an easy fix. I can fix that from anywhere if somebody's emailing me. You know, okay, just leave them out. We'll get them tomorrow. Things like that happen. Or there's snow wasn't perfectly plowed in front of your house. We can take care of that. But we need to be reasonable and try to help our residents, and our residents are very reasonable with us. Mm-hmm. So it's a two-way street, and I've always found that you treat people the way you want to be treated.
Exactly, the golden rule.
There it is, you know, it keeps coming back.
Thank you so much for being with us today, Mayor. Thank you everyone for watching The Student Voice. Come with us next time as we continue to hear from important figures in our community.